What's up, guys? Welcome back to my office. So as you can see, I'm not at training tonight. We had to cancel because for poor attendance. So if you know any of my students, you can feel free to call them out tomorrow for not showing up tonight. If you scroll far enough back on my channel, you'll find some long-form watch-along podcasts that I did with Go-Go Jonesy called Whiskey and Wrestling. They're just me and him getting hammered and cutting up. But I always really liked the name Whiskey and Wrestling, so I've wanted to do something like that and bring it back as part of the vlog. So we're going to start that tonight. I'm going to drink some whiskey. You know, I'm not a som or a connoisseur or whatever they call it. I just think it's fun to taste whiskey and give tasting notes. So I'm tasting Johnny Walker Black. It's my favorite Scotch. So there are no surprises here. It's smoky. It's sweet. It's very sweet on the nose. There's some caramels and some rubber in there. You know, it's like a very sweet tire fire. Like if you dripped a tire in caramel, then lit it on fire. That's what this is. Same thing on the taste. Very smoky, very sweet. It's got a very nice mouth feel. You know, it's not too thick. It's not too thin. Man, it's just right to where you feel like you're drinking something. It's very smooth. Yes. Part of the reason I've thought of all this is because on the Q&A yesterday, Tim Gibbons asked me what my favorite match to sit back and watch was. It was an easy answer because it's Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at Survivor Series 96. Has been that for a long time. But in answering that yesterday, I also realized it had been a very long time since I'd actually watched that match. To be honest, I don't even remember when the last time I actually sat down and watched that match was. Did you go watch the match? If you didn't, go watch it right now. I'll wait. Go watch it so we can talk about it. Elevator pitch for why I like that match so much. I believe that match does everything that a wrestling match should do. It's like going on a journey, right? It starts very typical wrestling. There's some chain wrestling and they're working kind of slow, and Bret Hart is proving that he's the better wrestler than Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is trying to keep up with Bret Hart, but he just can't. And he's getting frustrated and more frustrated. And then it sort of breaks down. Stone Cold, he doesn't necessarily do anything dirty or cheating, but he starts, beating up Bret Hart. They fight all around the outside of the ring. They get back in the ring. Austin clearly has the advantage, and he holds on to that advantage. Bret Hart is struggling to find, he takes his opportunities where he can find them, but he is struggling to get back in the fight. Stone Cold really puts a beating on Bret Hart. And then by the end of the match, as Bret starts to find his openings, Stone Cold is getting more frustrated, Bret Hart is getting more frustrated, and it's all coming to a head. They're fighting, they're both mad. Stone Cold is trying to slap himself back awake. Bret Hart is struggling to come back. Finally, Stone Cold wraps the $1 Million Dream. Bret Hart walks to the corner, kicks off the corner, and rolls back over so that the momentum is coming down. Stone Cold won't let go of the $1 Million Dream. Doesn't realize the ref is counting the 3, and then by the time he realizes it's too late, the 3 count hits, and Stone Cold lets go and kicks out, but Bret Hart has already won the match. Woo! God, it's so good. Part of what I see about this match is that it brings the fans into the story. Like this, whether you know Bret Hart is coming back from a long time off, whether you know what a bastard Stone Cold is, because he's still a heel in this match. So whether you know what a bastard Stone Cold is, this match tells this story. If you tuned into this match for the first time, like if this match was the first thing you ever saw in wrestling, you would understand what is happening. The storytelling in this match is so pristine. Both guys are evenly matched until they're not. It's very clear why they're not. Stone Cold's a dirty fighter. Bret Hart is the excellence of execution. So when Stone Cold is taking the advantage, it's because he's thrown some punches. It's because he's caught Bret off guard. When Bret Hart is taking the advantage, it's because he's out wrestling Stone Cold. The fans become more and more invested in this match as both guys are getting more and more frustrated, and as it's kind of the momentum is shifting back and forth. And it's not that they're doing bigger and better moves. It's not that they're doing cooler spots. It's that they're telling this story, and both guys are showing that frustration, showing that urgency to win, that desperation. The crowd is sucked into the match, and they are absolutely right there with the guys. If there are some things that I don't like about this match, I'm going to be a little critical of Bret Hart, who is, I've always, Bret Hart was one of my favorite guys to study when I was younger in the business. In this match, he kind of only has one selling face, and I don't ever remember him that before. He kind of just makes the same tired-looking selling face all the time. Stone Cold there were some times where he was not 100% on his game. His stuff looked a little light, or there were some times where maybe he threw some cheesy wrestling kicks instead of, looking like he was actually hurting Bret Hart. There's a moment where Stone Cold slingshots Bret Hart onto the Spanish announce table, and it doesn't quite come off right. Bret kind of has to do, instead of the move looking like a pendulum with momentum propelling Bret Hart has to kind of do a sit-up and jump to make the spot happen, and then he rolls on top of Hugo Savinovich, and they just kind of crumble, and Stone Cold jumps on top, and they fall under the table where nobody can see them. It's not a great spot. My favorite moments in the match, Stone Cold does the stunner without kicking Bret Hart. We've all seen it a million times on Vince McMahon alone. Kick, wham, stunner, right? They do a moment where Bret Hart is coming to grab Stone Cold from behind, and Stone Cold reaches back, boom, drops him in the stunner. It's beautiful. It's perfect. There's 2 times where they slug it out. And the first time, they're slugging it out, punches back and forth, and then Stone Cold kicks Bret Hart and wins the first punch exchange, right? But he did it. It wasn't cheating. It was just he took a cheap shot and kept the advantage. Okay, and then later, actually, that moment also has my favorite call in the match, because Vince McMahon, we get this big cheesy call of Vince McMahon going, "Stone Cold wins the fisticuff battle." It's good stuff. But then later in the match, they go back to it, and they go start trading again, and they're slugging it out, and now and the crowd is coming with them, and now Bret Hart is mad enough that he's able to win this one, and he doesn't take any cheap shots, he doesn't take any shortcuts, he just punches, takes everything Stone Cold has, and finishes with a big punch. Stone Cold goes down. Oh, it's like a Tyson knockout. It's bananas. It's great stuff. But I have a real tendency nowadays, now that I've been doing this for 20 years and my mind is kind of out of study mode, I have a real tendency to let myself get distracted when I'm watching wrestling and pick up my phone and, return a text or check my email, open my computer and do editing or whatever the case. So I'm going to use this as a reason, an impetus, a reminder to watch some wrestling. and really pay attention and really start to study it again. I think that's something that I'm missing. I'm not feeding myself anymore. I'm not studying. I'm not doing my homework. So I'm excited to bring back Whiskey and Wrestling, and I'm actually really interested. What are your guys' favorite matches? Comment below if there's a match you want me to watch and review. Comment below if there's a whiskey you want me to taste and review. The rules for both are that they have to be easy to find. I'm not going to spend hours tracking down, good old so-and-so versus mean old such and such from the Nobody Watched This show. It has to be something easily accessible. If you know where to find it, drop a link and I'll follow that. Same with the whiskey. There's lots of craft and there's lots of craft whiskeys and distilleries and stuff that I would love to try, but I'm not gonna go hunt them down and drive 200 miles to find a bottle of whiskey. That's just not something I'm gonna do. So guys, that's it for the first episode of the new Whiskey and Wrestling. I give Johnny Walker Black 5 stars, and I give Bret Hart versus Stone Cold 4 fingers of goodness.